This is great. The stream is on. Perfect. Okay,
All
so
right,
we're gonna
guys, in this
start this course, Python course, and I have bought it from Udemy, but I wanna, stream and learn at the same time. This is what I'm going to do. So yeah, so Angela is gonna explain to us how we could start with this little project, which is pizza delivery, right over here. We're going to make a little project out of it.
this lesson, I have a small coding challenge for you.
So we have a small coding challenge.
The goal is to create a Python pizza delivery program.
So yeah, so we're going to create a program, and this is our to-do list that we have to make.
And the program is going to automatically calculate the bill for the user based on a number.
Okay, so we're going to calculate the bill of the user that will use this program
of options. So the user is going to be asked 3 questions in the form of an input.
So we're going to ask the user 3 questions, and we're going to store the answer in 3 variables. And through this function, the user could input the answer through the console.
And we can run through this program as it is just to see that in action.
So let's just try this as well. So we're gonna hit run. Then it prompts to us what size of pizza do we want. So maybe we want the small pizza size. So we're gonna input S. And then it's gonna ask us, do you want pepperoni on your pizza? Which is nice, so it's gonna be delicious, so why not? Yes. Do you want extra cheese? Yes. Okay. And then these elements has been stored in these variables, and that's all.
So firstly, it says,
Perfect.
Welcome to Python Pizza Deliveries. What size pizza do you want? And I'm going to choose a large pizza. So
she has chosen the large pizza, which is pretty big.
It asks me S, M, or L. So L. Do you want?
So for us to just get an image about it, just gonna go and Google it. So let's Google pizza size small, so that we could grasp what we are asking for. So this is a small size, pretty enough, I guess. She has chosen the large one. It's gonna be almost like this, or even this, which is a lot. So she wanna eat a lot, I guess.
Want pepperoni on your pizza? Yes, always.
So she has chosen yes. Okay, perfect.
And then it asks, do you want extra cheese? I'll type N for no.
So she doesn't want extra cheese. Interesting.
So these are my inputs, which will get saved into these variables.
Yes. So everything's gonna get saved to the variables, true.
Size, pepperoni, and extra cheese. And what I want to happen is for us to be able to print out the final bill saying your final bill is this
$28. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna calculate a bill with these variables. So if we have, for example, a large pizza, then it's gonna be $20. Small pizza, $5, for example. With pepperoni, you're gonna add $1. Without any pepperoni, the variable is not gonna add on to the bill. And with extra cheese as well, $1. If not, then it's not gonna be more than that.
Amount, and it should be $28 based on the pricing of Python.
Okay, so she has given us the pricing of the small pizza and everything. So we have these 3 to-do lists that we should make, so step by step. Okay, so let's choose the first to do, which is okay, let's just make it to do. work out how much they need to pay based on their size choice. Okay, and then we have another to-do list or to-do task actually. We're gonna just input the same thing, work out how much to add to their bill based on their pepperoni choice. And then we have another to do. Good. Okay. So we're gonna go and say work out their final amounts based on whether okay if they want extra cheese. Okay, that's cool. So we're gonna start with the first to do, which is work out how much they need to pay based on their size choice. So I guess we're gonna use the if statement for this in order to capture the cases that we're gonna have. So let's just start doing this. So if so if size of the pizza, so if size is equivalent to the string. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, for example, if it was large, then it's gonna be $25. Okay, then the bill is gonna be equivalent to this number, which is $15. Okay. Okay, so if that wasn't true, then we're gonna have an LF statement. And if we saw the size was equivalent to this string, which is M, then we're gonna have the bill's gonna be equivalent to $20. Else is gonna be just make it, the bill is gonna be equivalent to 25, which is the large. No, so we have the large, so it's gonna be the small one. Okay, so we have captured all the cases of the size and we have made our bill. Okay, this should be very basic if statement. Okay, so here we need to work out how much to add to their bill based on their pepperoni choice. Okay, for that we're gonna need to check the pepperoni prices. Add pepperoni for small pizza. Okay, so if pepperoni is actually equivalent to this string, which is y, then we're gonna add to the bill. We're gonna go bill plus sign equivalent sign on $2. So we're gonna add $2. If not, so otherwise, then the bill is gonna stay as the same. Okay, so bill is gonna be equivalent to bill. Okay, it's not gonna change. So okay. So otherwise there is no need to add this. Just it's not that necessary. Okay. If it was y, if it was n, then there is no other case. Okay, the bills are not gonna be touched. Okay, it's gonna stay as the same. Okay. Add pepperoni for small pizza. Ah, okay. Okay. It's interesting. So this if statement is going to be integrated into this. Okay. Okay, so if pepperoni was that, yes, we're going to add 2. So it's going to be an integrated if statement. Okay. So if pepperoni here was yes, then okay, hold on a second. We have here an error, but for medium, it's gonna be $3. And for extra cheese, so for small and medium, that's always the bill is gonna be like. But for small, oh, hold on a second. I preparing for small. This is gonna be this one over here. Okay, interesting. Let me just get that done. Else if okay. Okay, so it's just gonna move this above. I guess that's the problem. Yes, correct. So that we don't make any problems when it comes to that. Okay. So I don't like this else statement. It's not that much descriptive. So I'm just gonna go and make another LF for the small size. Okay, so this is the small size. It's gonna be 15. If yes, then we're gonna add 2. For the medium, we're gonna add 3. Okay. If we want to add an extra cheese to any size pizza, then we're gonna add $1. Okay, fine. So we're just gonna add something like this just over here. It's gonna be an LF. Okay. If the extra cheese, yes, was yes, then we're gonna add $1. So we're gonna type here bill plus equals $1. So we're gonna have this for everyone over here. Okay, so for the large one, we're gonna have it as well. Okay. We're not gonna have an LF, we're gonna just have an F statement. But in this case, we're gonna have here an LF. Okay, perfect. Okay, good. So here we have to work out how much do we need to add to their pepperoni choice. Then here for the extra cheese that we have made it, then I'm just gonna go and make a print statement after we have done all of this. And we're gonna print the bill variable. Okay. So that's it, I guess. Yeah, we're having some problem kind of thing. Name bill can be undefined. We're just gonna go and not worry about that. Okay. So let's run this and choose the same variable parameters. If we had the same bill, then our code is functioning. Okay. So what size do we want? We want large. Okay. Do you want pepperoni on your pizza? Yes. Okay. So we want pepperoni, but we don't want extra cheese. And we're having 15. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, so pepperoni should add to the small. We should have here 16, 17, 18. Okay, that's weird. Okay, let's just get back to this. Oh my god, this is so much broken. Okay, so for the large, it should be $25. Okay, so that's for the large. For the medium, it's going to be 20, and for the small, it's going to be 15. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, so we want large, we want pepperoni, we don't want extra cheese. We have 25. Let's go over this. Large is going to be 25, correct? We want pepperoni. Oh, because we need to add pepperoni as well for the large one. Okay, even if we don't have that on the description, we should add that by ourselves. Okay. Okay, so the bill is going to be added by 3, like this one. Okay, so let's just make it over here as LF statement. Over here, I make here an LF statement. Beautiful. Okay, let's run this again. So we want a large, we want pepperoni, and we don't want extra cheese. Okay, we got 28, which is correct. Okay, so let's complete.
Python pizza. So you can see in the description box here, we've got all the prices for small, medium, large pizzas, as well as the modifiers. So if they want pepperoni on a small pizza, that's an extra $2. If they want pepperoni on a medium or large pizza, that's an extra $3. And finally, if they want extra cheese, that's $1 on top of their bill. So your goal is to use what you've learned about if statements,
Okay, so we have just done that. So we're gonna see the code of her. So we're gonna skip this a little bit and learn what better mechanism we could use for our code. So just check that out. Okay. So here she adds the bill as 0. That we haven't done this. This is why we have this error over here. Okay. So we're just gonna add, we're just gonna define bill as an integer of value 0. Okay.
So if the size that they chose is equal to S, that means.
Okay, so we have done the same, I guess. So it's just complete. So we have the small, the medium, beautiful. Then we have the large. Okay. And we have the 15, 28, 25. So my syntax was correct and practical. Okay, here we have an else statement. Okay, so if they use it and type any of those, we're gonna run into an error. So for example, if we type P, and here another P, and here another P, we're gonna have just 0, and it doesn't make any sense actually. Okay. So we're gonna need to add an else statement over here. Okay, hold on a second, and then we're gonna print you have not typed any of the options. And then we're gonna print here the bill. But if he didn't choose anything, we should not print anything. So we're gonna just break. Okay, so let's check this out. Or let's import system or sys. Let's import sys in here. So there is a better way to actually exit. Yes, import sys, yes. And then we're gonna use it here. So sys dot exit, and just like that, we're gonna exit if we have not typed any option. Let's just try that out. So we're gonna choose P, 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 and then it just exits from the code. Okay, and we don't print the bill in that case. Okay, that's beautiful. I'll just delete this. Okay, great.
Use an indent that you've got 4 spaces in there. So if I just add one more space and make sure that all of these are on the same indentation line, that warning goes away.
Okay, great. So let's just see more of our code.
If pepperoni is equal to y, then in that case, we need to add some money to their bill. But how much? Well, it depends on the size of their previous choice. So if they had a small pizza, it's $2.
Okay, so here she's making another if statement. Actually, it's gonna be way better to just make an integrated if statement in here because it's gonna be way better actually. Otherwise, you could make an if statement in here and, for example, say if the bill is equivalent to 15, then we have a small size pizza. Then we're gonna add this. If not, then that's just more code. You could just use integrated if statements, and that's gonna be way less good. So this way is not actually recommended, but it's more simple to look at or to execute, etc. So yeah, if the size is equivalent, so she takes this again, so it just writing it again, it just doesn't make any sense. Like you could just add this if statements in here, and that was all. So I guess the project is done because it's very simple. Didn't take us even 10 minutes. So we're gonna learn about logical operations or operators, okay?
Now, up to this point,
So
you've seen us use
let's just learn
if
together.
statements, else statements, elif statements, multiple if statements, as well as nested if statements.
Yes, we have seen all these statements. Yes, that's true.
But the thing that we haven't been able to do thus far is to check for multiple conditions in the same
Yes, we haven't done it in any of the previous projects. True.
line of code. So how would we be able to combine different conditions and say,
okay, actually this is way better than using elif. If we could use one if statement and just parse all the conditions.
well, is the pizza large and the user wants pepperoni and extra cheese all in the same line of code?
So yeah, if this was true and this was true and this was true, then we're gonna have this outputted or executed actually. But if one of these conditions wasn't true, then we're gonna do this or execute this command over here in the else statement. That's pretty simple actually.
Well, to do this, we would need to learn about the logical operators.
So in order to actually use multiple conditions, we're gonna need to make or to understand these logical operators. Okay.
3 of them that are really useful: and, or, and not. So let's take a look at the first one. When you combine 2 different conditions using an AND operator, they both have to be true, both A and B, for the entire line of code to be true.
That's correct. But in this case, if C was correct, then we're gonna execute that if statement. If D was correct, then we're gonna execute the statement. If both were correct, then we're gonna execute that if statement, for example. But if both of them was not correct, then we are not gonna execute any of them. This not, it's like if this was false, so if this wasn't false, it's better explained as first. This third one, okay, I guess it's gonna be over here.
If just one of them is true, say A is true and B is false, or A is false and B is true, then the overall thing evaluates to false. Now,
okay, that's beautiful. What about here?
And all that this does is it basically reverses a condition. So if the condition is false, then it becomes true.
Yes, so this is a reverse. Okay, that's great. So if this was false, then we're gonna make it true with this not operator logic or whatever.
Versus a
Logical
condition.
operator.
So if the condition is false, then it becomes true. If it's true, then it becomes false.
Okay, thank you for
So
that.
Coming back to our code, we can refresh and restart the Python console and start with the same a equals 12. And we can use the or statement by saying, well, is a greater than 10? That's true.
Okay, that's interesting.
Or is a less than 10, which is not true. So here,
Okay. So a is equivalent to this. So this one is false and this one is true.
here we have a condition that is true and a condition that's not true. But because this time, instead of using an and, we have an or between these two conditions, then this will actually evaluate to true.
Yes. We just have explained that, so there is no need. Okay, here we're gonna have a project.
Is false. They would give them free tickets. And according to Wikipedia, midlife crises typically occur when you're 45 to 55.
Okay, this is actually mediocre. We don't need to learn that.
To our code. So let's say that in addition to these existing.
So we have this project previously. We did it. Then we're gonna add something into it, I guess.
Price categories. What if you had to add a separate price category for those people who are aged between 45 and 55? And those people get to ride for free.
That's stupid. I'm just gonna skip this one. Okay, so I'm gonna go directly to the project.
Hey, you've reached the final project. And as you've seen at the beginning of today's lessons, I showed you what we're going to be making, which is a sort of choose your own adventure game. I don't know if you've ever read those choose your own adventure books where you flip to a different page.
I didn't read any of those. I will never do.
If you make a particular choice, and then the story kind of evolves as you make your choices. Now, we're going to make a very simple version of that using what we've learned about conditionals, if, else, elif statements, as well as everything we've done previously. So you've already seen what the final outcome should look like, and if you want to review it again.
Yes, I just did. So to actually see the final outcome, so this is a very stupid project. There's no one to work on it. See, this one is a little bit interesting, so we're gonna play with it. Okay, so this is the flowchart that we should follow that would help us. Okay, and here we have the demo. Okay, so let's play with it a little bit. Okay, so welcome to Treasure Island. Your mission is to find the treasure. You're not at a crossroad where do you want to go, left or right? So we are at a crossroad and we have two directions. So let's choose the left direction. Okay, you've come to a lake. There is an island in the middle of the lake. Okay, that's beautiful. Type wait to wait for a boat. Type swim to swim across. Okay, if there is a boat to wait for, then why not? Let's wait. You arrive at the islands unharmed. There is a house with 3 doors, one red, one yellow, and one blue. Which color do you want to choose? Okay, I'm gonna choose the blue one, so I'm gonna type blue. Okay, you enter a room of beats. Game over. Okay, so we have just failed. Game over, I guess. So this time I'm gonna go to the right. It's another game over. Stupid. Go to the left. We're gonna this time swim. 1 second, I'm gonna swim. Okay, but this is not functioning. Help. The fuck? So we're gonna swim. Okay, it doesn't even work. It might be a bug. Okay, so let's make it again. We're gonna go to the left. We are going to swim. And we get attacked by an angry child. Okay. Bring this on to the left. We are going to wait. We are going with a red door. It's a room full of fire. Game over. Okay. We're going to the left. We are going to wait. Then we're going to choose the other door. You found the treasure. You win. Way. That's beautiful. So this is the chart that we are going to follow. We have this prompt at the beginning. Welcome to Treasure Islands. Your mission is to find the treasure. Okay, so we're gonna have to make this happen. So we already have this written, this print statements, very easy. So we're gonna make our first F statement to capture if the user chooses right or wrong, right or left. Okay, so we're gonna make one variable and we're gonna call this variable direction. Okay, we're gonna call it player direction is going to be equivalent to an empty string. Okay, beautiful. So that's our variable that we are gonna start with. So we're gonna ask about the input, actually, not an empty string. So we're gonna ask about an input, and then we are going to say in this input, we're gonna make a prompt to the user using this input function. Okay, we're gonna ask him the same that we have found in the demo, actually. So you're at a crossroads, where do you want to go, etc. Okay, so we don't have these commands over here. That's weird. So okay, so we gotta figure this out. Yeah, no problem. So we're gonna need this one. Okay, we're gonna need these two lines for our code. Okay, it's gonna take a little while, no problem. We're gonna put this as the input. Okay, perfect. We're gonna remove okay, this is a little bit problematic. These strings just take this. Maybe I know a solution for this. Let's see. Okay, maybe with this one to escape it. Yes, correct. And I want to escape this one as well. Okay, it doesn't function as I want it. Okay, it doesn't skip. Oh, yeah, we're gonna skip it from here. Correct. Okay, hold on a second. And we're going to skip this one and this one. Okay, perfect. So this is a perfect string. It is perfectly done. Perfect input. Okay, so we have our if statement in here. So if player direction was equivalent to this string, which is left, then we're gonna have a set of commands. Okay, it's gonna be if it was right or anything else, fall into a hole. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna work on left first of all, and then I'm gonna leave this else statements for later. Okay, so we're gonna focus on this one first. So if that, then we're gonna go to the next if statement, which is you've come to a lake and there is an island, so we're gonna print this. Type, okay. So we're gonna take all of this, copy it. Beautiful. And we're gonna make another statement, supply direction. We're gonna make another input. We're gonna make the same same technique. Okay. We're going to escape these strings over here. Escape. Okay, that doesn't function as it's supposed to be. Okay, because of here, I have to escape this one. Then we have to escape this one. No, it doesn't skip it. Okay, because there is because that's outside, so just make it over there. Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna skip this string as well. This one as well. There we go. Okay, perfect. Here's the if statements. We have forgot the column. Okay, correct. Okay, so if the input was, so if the player direction input is actually equivalent to the left, to wait actually. So if it was equivalent to wait, then we are going to prompt this as well. Player direction. Okay, we're gonna make an equivalence, equal sign, then input, and then we're gonna go and copy this. Very easy. We're gonna make a little string, paste this. Okay, just make it functioning as it's supposed to be. Beautiful. We don't have to escape anything. Okay, then we're gonna go and get back. So the player made all of these decisions, which is great. And if it choose wait, then we're going to have another if statement. Okay, we're just gonna have a little bit of space. Okay, so we're gonna have another if statement. If so if the input was yellow, so if player, do we call this direction or decision? I guess decision is more precise, so we're just gonna make that decision. Right, that's how it's written. I don't know. Decision. Yeah, that's how it's written. Great. I'm gonna copy this and paste it in all of these. Okay, that's gonna take a little while. Okay, that's a little bit problematic. And there we go. So if the player decision was equivalent to yellow, like this. So how is the yellow written? Yeah, small letters, okay. Was equivalent to yellow, then we're gonna have a little set of code. If it was yellow, we're gonna print, UN. And if that wasn't true, then we're gonna have an elif. And we're gonna take the same variable, which is player decision. If it was equivalent to blue, okay, then we're going to print eaten by beasts, they're gonna have a game over. So just write that down. Game over. And we're gonna have another elif statement. If the player decision was actually equivalent to red, then we're going to print burned by fire. Burned by fire. Then we are going to have game over. Okay, beautiful. So if we had anything else, it's gonna be game over. I'm gonna go and print game over. Okay, that's great. So let's start again from the beginning and make this decision. So if he chooses left, then we're gonna ask about this. If not, then they didn't do that, then we're gonna have an else over here actually at the very bottom. Okay, beautiful. Then we're gonna have an else, and then we're gonna print fall into a hole. Then we're gonna have game over. Okay. So we have made this, and then we're gonna have this one. If he choose wait, then he's gonna go incomplete. If not, then we're gonna have an else statement over here. And press enter. We want to print. I'm gonna make that syntax of print, and then if you choose to swim, then or anything else, then it's gonna be attacked by a trout. I think a shark is gonna be better than a trout. You're gonna have a game over. Okay, beautiful. If he chooses to wait, which is in this case, then he's gonna have all of this. Else is gonna just die. Okay, so let's try this out. It should function. Okay. So for the input statements, I'm just going to leave a little bit of space for me. And we want to make a new line over here. Okay, beautiful. And we're going to make a new line over here. That's very beautiful. I'm gonna go down. Okay, perfect. It's almost perfect. We're just gonna need to make a little bit of space over here. Okay, we're gonna make a little bit of space over here. And then that's all, I guess. Yeah. Yep. Let's just do the inputs. We have 3 inputs in general. And that's all of it. Here a little bit. That's a new line, so it's gonna be more readable. So let's rerun the program. Okay, so we are at a road cross in search of a treasure on the island. So we have 2 choices to go left. Okay, so let's try right at first. So it is a game over. So it's functioning. Let's choose left. Okay. So we've come to a lake. There is an island in the middle of the lake. Okay, so we're gonna type here swim and see if there's a game over. Yes, attacked by a shark. Makes sense. Okay, so let's choose here left. Let's choose here to wait for the boot. And we have 3 doors. Let's choose the yellow one. And we win. Okay, that's perfect. So I guess it functions. So yeah. So if we have written anything else that doesn't make any sense, it's gonna be a game over. Okay. Beautiful. It works just fine. So let's just see the syntax of Angelella. See how it is been made. So she made choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. So she had differentiated that. I guess this is a very better way to actually differentiate between the decisions. So this one is going to be play decision number 1. This one is the same. This one is the decision number 2, and this one's decision number 2. And this one's decision number 3, and this one's decision number 3. Okay, so if the decision number 3 was that, if the decision number 3 was that, okay? So now we have multiple decisions, which are 3, and we could differentiate between them. So this is the mistake that we have made in our code. Okay, so see, she makes the same thing. She adds this lower. So if we have written a capital letter, it will interpret it as a lower capital. So for example, if we choose left like this, it will make us game over, and that's not the outcome that we want. Okay, so if we added this syntax over here of dots lower, so this, if we called this function, okay, it's going to interpret our input all in small letters for us to fit in this if statement. Okay, so this one is going to function, correct? So that's a pretty nice add-on to the syntax, very important.
Happened, you got
Then okay, just gonna go and take a look at the code. So she uses a very similar manner, you know, like every developer is gonna use the same way. Less AI. If you ask AI to do this in one line or better, or it's just going to call weird stuff that does the same job, maybe even better. So as a human, most of us are gonna write a script like this. Okay. So let's go to the next project. Okay, it's called Share and Show of project. Now,
Hey!
so at each day, Angelella makes a motivational video. It's pretty interesting. It says, yo, you have made progression, etc. Don't give up. So, okay.
I hope you had fun building the Treasure Island project.
Actually, I didn't have any fun. It was very simple and a little bit ugly and predictable. Okay, it wasn't fun at all. We need to develop something that has thousands of lines of code. Maybe then it is fun.
Now, remember that the most important thing when it comes to programming and learning this new skill is to really make the code your own. So,
I do try to make my code as my own, but it is very simple and it doesn't have any purpose. So we're gonna have the same code almost, because there is no way to be creative when you put a chart of yourself, of that project for every student, right?
with this project, really the sky's the limit. You can take your creativity and run with it.
There is no creativity in this. Like, what is it? Nothing. Just F and LF statement and else statement. What could you make for this? Nothing.
Make the story your own. Change it up. Change.
I don't care about changing the story because this is like I did a little bit of change over here. Attacked by a shark, but then a trout. That seemed to be fitting. Actually, when you go to the red room, you find go, not by burns by fire. Actually, finds example, find a tool that attacked you, for example. Who knows? And then you have a game over. Okay, you could add even more if statement, elf statements and make it more interesting, but I'm not interested in that. Okay.
Change the game. Make it something that you imagine it to be. And I can't wait to play your game. So
Yeah, I have never played anyone's game, so it doesn't make any sense. So let's go to the next video of day 4 and see what we have there.
Hey guys, welcome back to 100 Days of Code. Today is day 4
Yes,
and we're going
correct.
to be focusing on randomization in Python, and we're
Yeah,
going to be
sorry,
learning
Dara, my
about
fault.
Python lists.
Okay.
Now, randomization in any sort of programming language is really, really useful.
Okay, so in code there is a function you could call. It's called random, and there is a module for it, or a library, whatever you call it. And it takes your directory or your list or whatever, and takes a random what you call that? Takes a random value of it, and then you could store that into a variable and print it and do whatever you want with it.
Because if we want to create a game, if we want our program to do something different each time, then we need to introduce a little bit of randomness, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking at using the random module in order to achieve this. And by the end of today, you will have learned enough to be...
So, okay. I guess we're gonna just jump into the project. Yes, this one.
All right, guys. So
Okay, so we're gonna go here into files, day 4, rock, paper, and scissor, and then we're gonna go to the text right away. Here we have index error, bank roulette. We're gonna learn about lists. We're gonna learn about the random module. All of this is simple, pretty easy to do. There's no need to even think about it. Okay, so we have here a little bit of GUI, might call that. Okay, and then we have a demo. So we don't have a chart in here in the description, sadly. But I guess this is very sufficient. Okay. So we're gonna have a player decision, and we have 3 choices. Okay, so we're gonna make 0 as for rock, and then the computer chooses another value, which is paper. That means I lose. Okay, that's pretty interesting. So let's start working on this. Okay, so we're gonna have these 3 values and variables, and we're gonna have this input. So we're just gonna go and copy this. Then it's gonna be player decision number 1. Or because we have only one decision in this game, so we're gonna have only one decision. There's no need to specify the decision number. It's gonna be player decision, and it's gonna be equivalent to this number, which is an empty integer, 0. So if you didn't make anything, just a blank, you're gonna choose rock. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Okay, interesting. Okay. So you're gonna give an if statement. But before that, we're gonna make a player choice. Okay. So the player choice is gonna be an input function so that we could get the input from the player through the terminal. Then we're gonna ask him this exactly. Okay, just gonna go make this a little bit simpler for us to read. Okay, perfect. Okay, so what do you choose? Type 0 for rock, which is the initial decision automatically. If not, then we're gonna have number 1, which is paper. If not, we're gonna have scissors. Okay, so if player choice, if player choice okay, I don't think there is any need of this. Hold on a second. Oh, we're gonna use this actually to okay, this is very important. Okay. So if the player choice was equivalent to the string, okay, we're not gonna go and transform this string to an integer. Okay, because why not? We have already written this. If we didn't have this, then we could actually transform the string to an integer and then work with it mathematically. But there is no need in this case. So what do you choose? For example, if the prior choice was 0, then we could just go and leave the player decision as is. Okay. So if it wasn't 0, if it was number 1, then we are going to have player decision. We're gonna add to it 1. Okay. And if it was number 1, which is paper, okay. Hold on a second. Okay, that's correct. There is no need for this as well. There is absolutely no need to make player decision as this. You feel me, right? Okay, interesting. Very interesting. So there is multiple ways to make this happen. Okay. Because we're gonna just make it as simple as possible. So player decision is going to be equivalent to paper, which is this one here. But actually, we need some math about this. You feel me? It's gonna be way better if it was math. And then, okay, so we have right now paper. Okay. Okay, good. So the choice is gonna be equivalent to paper. Like this, yeah. Okay, crazy good. So if it wasn't 1, the decision, so L, F, player choice was equivalent to, for example, 2, then we're gonna have this case, player decision is gonna be added by 2, okay, and then the choice is going to be okay. No, there is no need to make to make this manually because we're going to use the random module. Doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's just capture and translate the player choice. So if that was the case, then there's no need to use all of these if statements. There's a better way to do it. So we're gonna go straight away to this. So we're gonna have player choice and then computer choice, and the computer choice is gonna be in this list, and this list is gonna be 0 or 1 or 2. Perfect to know. So if player choice, so if the player made his decision, we're going to translate his string to an integer. So we're going to use this function and gonna make player choice, okay, like this. So if he chooses 0, it's going to be an integer, etc. So if player choice was equivalent to computer choice, okay, this one is correct, I guess. Then we are going to print, hold on a second, we're going to print equal match. And we're going to prompt here, repeat again. Okay. So I'm going to make here an elif statement. If player choice was actually bigger than, okay. Player choice was equivalent to computer choice, okay. That makes an equal. What if the player choice made scissors, which is 2? Okay, we still need to work on this a little bit. So, okay. So player choice, computer choice. And then we're gonna go and print. This is a little bit difficult. Let's think about it. So for example, if we have choose 0, then we're gonna print it as in here. But I don't know how to do this. Okay, interesting. Maybe we're gonna need to make a list of choices. Okay, over here. Maybe this is a walk around it. So we're gonna make a list over here, and we're gonna make here scissors. We're gonna make paper. Then we're gonna make rock. Okay, perfect. So scissors is for option 0. Okay. So if player choice was this one, so we're gonna take from the list. Okay. So we're gonna take from the list like this, I guess. Yes, player choice. Okay, so we're gonna ask AI about this, how we could do. Okay. So we're gonna ask AI real quick about this. So we're gonna go here. I'm gonna ask this. Say I have a list in Python, like list equivalent to 0, 1, 2, and I have a variable that has 0 or 1 or 2 as value. Okay. And I want to take choice from the list using that variable. For example, choice, and then here player choice. Okay, so we just need a little syntax. Let's see if this works. On the right track, you can access list element using index notation. Okay, so we have a list in here, we have a variable that has been made, and then we could access this by this. Okay, perfect. Okay, interesting. So why this doesn't function? Type value is not generic, it's always specialized. What to choose? Interesting. Choices. Okay, so this is called choices. Choices. Then we have the player choice, which is going to be a string. We're going to move that to an integer. Okay, interesting. 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 Okay, interesting. Okay, makes sense. And then we're gonna take this computer choice. So we don't know the computer choice right now. So we need to randomize this. So let's import the random module first. Import random. Okay. Then we need to use it. We're gonna ask AI about this. How to pick an item of this list using random module and storing it in a variable. Okay, so we just need this syntax because I'm not a AI, like I'm human. I do forget stuff. Okay, so we have this list, computer choices that the computer could make. Okay, and then we're gonna extract from there the computer choice. It's gonna be, we're gonna take the computer choices, and then we are going to take this. Yeah, hold on a second. We're gonna just call the random module, and there is a choice function in this module that's gonna do all the work for us. Then we're just gonna go and grab one of these choices in this list. Then we store this into here. And the same goes for here. So this is the player choice, input, and then, okay, interesting. We could actually make the same thing. Interesting. So 0 for rock. So we're just fixing this small, step by step. Where's scissors? Oh my god, what did I do? What did I do? Okay, perfect. Okay. This should be like this. Okay, fine. Interesting. There's no need to take from here computer choices. So this is the computer choice out of here. that has been taken from here. And the player choice, we're going to take one input and take that integer. Okay. And this integer, we're going to want to take this integer and store it and translate it actually to rock, paper, or scissors. Okay, we're gonna store that here. In order to do this, we're gonna go and take this choices. Then we're gonna make something like this. I hope this functions like over here, like this one. So results, we take the list and we take the choice. Okay, here we have an error. I don't know what is it actually. So type alias is not generic, already specialized. Okay, so we're gonna ignore this for the moment. Okay, so we have right now player choice and computer choice. After all of this sufferance, we have made it, and we haven't cheated. Okay, we have made all of this by thought. Okay, so if choices of player choice, so here paper is actually weaker than scissors and rock is weaker than paper. Okay, so we're gonna take this and do it. So we have right now only, so this if statement we have to update it. So we have player choice and then we have computer choice. Okay, that's correct. Okay, fine. If they were equal, then it's gonna be repeat again because it is an equal match. Then we have here an elif. Then we're gonna need player choice, and then we're gonna go and see if player choice was actually bigger than computer choice. It's gonna be something like this actually, I guess. Computer choice. Then we are going to print. We're going to print. You have one. Okay. So if it was bigger in this case, and in this case, in this case. Okay. Scissors beats paper. And paper beats rock. But if scissors don't beat rock, okay? This is the problem we have right now. We have to catch this case, okay? Okay. But how to catch this case actually? So this is correct until we have one case that is not correct anymore. Okay, so before this elif statement, we have to make I don't know. We have to make an if statement actually. Yeah, true. So we have this case is true, but maybe we could use logical operators. Yeah. Okay, so if player choice, this is a unique case and we have to specialize it. If it was equivalent to 2 and computer choice, if this computer choice was equivalent to, for example, 0, and vice versa actually. Okay. Okay, so we are going to say that the player wins, friends. No, in this case, player loses. So we're gonna just print this. Friends, you lose. Okay, because scissors get defeated by rock. Okay. Okay, that's fine. And then we're gonna have another LF. If player choice was equivalent to 0 and computer choice was equivalent to if it was equivalent to 2, then you win in this case. Okay, we're gonna print okay, you win. Okay, so we have catched these two cases over here and vice versa. So this does some problems. If it was equivalent, then it is an equal match. And if all of these were false and were not correct, then we're going to follow our logic that we would follow normally, which is an elif statement. If player choice was actually bigger than computer choice, then the player will win automatically. Okay, just fix this error. Then print parentheses, and then we say you won or you win, because because scissors beats paper and paper beats rock. Okay, for this case, if rock okay, rock doesn't beat paper and scissors and paper doesn't beat and paper doesn't beat scissors. Okay, so else I'm gonna have an else that takes all of those cases because I'm just lazy. I'm gonna print you lose. Okay, you lose for those cases that are not interesting anymore. Okay, so we have f, lf, 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 and else. This is not an optimal code because of this. Like if I could have catched this in one line of code, then it would be better. This one is way logical and everybody would use something like this. But this one, I don't know if it was good enough. This one catches all other cases. I don't know if it was good enough as well. But we're going to test this. Okay. So here, before anything, we're gonna print yeah, so hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here's a problem. Here there is a problem actually. For this if statement to work, it should be numbers, okay? And in this case, we don't have the numbers that we need. Okay. Okay, interesting. That's actually interesting, okay. So in this case, we are not going to use this. We are going to use numbers, okay. Interesting. Okay, and here we're gonna take number list. Okay, we're gonna make a number list. Then we're gonna make these parentheses. We're gonna have 0, 1, 2. And rather than taking from choices for the computer, we're gonna have a number list. Then it's gonna take 0, 1, or 2. And then we're gonna translate these numbers in here inside of the if statement. Okay. So here we are going to print hold on a second. So we are going to translate this starts over here. So we're gonna use here F, and then we're gonna use these. And then we're gonna take the player choice and print if it was a rock, if it was that, or that, or that. In order to do this, we're gonna just use this. Okay. We take from choices, which is player choice. Perfect. And then we're gonna print something like this. Yes. And this one is going to be the choice of the computer. Okay. So before this is going to make another print statement. And let's see over here. We're going to launch a new line actually. We're going to say computer move. Okay. And then here we take the computer choice, which is a number. And then we do all of this all over here. Okay. Just get rid of these spaces. Then we're gonna have this here, like this. Okay. Then we're gonna have something similar to here. Interesting. And something as well in here. Okay, this is not an IGL code, and there's gonna be an error, I'm sure. Okay, so we're gonna choose 0. Oh, it fucking functions. Oh my god, I don't believe this. So it does the job, I guess. Okay. So in this case, I win. So 0 rock against scissors. Yes, that's correct. So we're gonna go to this demo. We don't need a demo actually. We could just, use our logic. Okay, so we're gonna choose in this case number 1. And we're gonna see. Okay, so my move is number 1, which is paper, which is correct. And then the computer did the same move, which is an equal match. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna choose number 2, which is scissors. So yes, that's correct. Scissors, computer move, paper, which means I win. Okay, if I choose number L, then we have an error. Interesting. Interesting. So we're gonna have an error. How to break this error actually? Okay. We could make here an F statement and check if this variable takes the right input in here. If it didn't take the right input, we could just break the code before even going into here. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, what about 2? Then we have, he says scissors. Number 2 again, says scissors. Oh my god, what is this? Okay, I thought there was a problem in the code, but no, it is randomized as it is supposed to be. Okay, so we have here scissors and paper, and by that we win. Let's see if we have a rock with scissors. Okay, another paper, so we win. Another paper, we win. So we have another scissors. My god, this is so much trashy. Okay, so in this case we lose. Yes, prince, you lose. What? Yeah, if you print, you lose. No. That's weird. Okay, because it does work, it does do the job. So yeah, and we have 10 warnings. So this SAI about this warning. What does this warning mean? And by charm, type alias is not generic are already specialized. Okay, let's hit enter. Okay, so we have here, this PyCharm warning means you're trying to use square brackets with a type alias that either isn't generic, type doesn't accept type parameters, is already specialized. You've already specified the type parameter. So wrong, string is not generic. My type equals string. My type int, warning. Wrong, already specialized. My list of int. Correct way. So this one equals a string. And then we don't make any brackets. Aha. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay, so let's say to the AI that this is the code. This is the code. Where is the problem at? I didn't input the code. Fuck. Okay, no problem. We just do that again. Okay, we're gonna hit edit. I'm gonna add. Okay, let's see. I don't see a type alias issue in your code. The one you're experiencing might be coming from elsewhere or from PyCharm analysis. However, I found a syntax error on this line. Okay, there's a missing space before or. It should be. Thank you. That's a nice error, I guess. Stupid. Other suggestions, your code logic can be simplified. Instead of multiple elif statements, you could use, yes, we could use the AND operator, or we could use the OR operator as well, or prior. So if the player choice was 0 and computer was 2, or player number 1 and number 0, or player choice number 2 and you win, else you lose. So you just take all the cases that you may win at, made it in one elif statement with and or logical operators, and then he inputted that into a result. Okay, and all other cases, they are or you lose kind of thing. Okay, and here's the one that has the tie. Okay, equal match or tie match. Repeat again. Okay, so yeah, that's everything. There is no error. Some warnings, that's all. That's it. Yeah, so I guess this is enough of the stream. I'm gonna take a little break and do another stream again. Why not? So that's enough, 1 hour and a half.